The cradle of giants is cracking. The Santiago Bernabeu may shine under the Madrid sun. But deep within Valdebebas, a storm of epic proportions is brewing. This is no ordinary crisis. It's a clash of philosophies, a cold war between the pitch and the offices, where the future of the 2025-2026 season is being forged with fire and sword. The vision of Xabi Alonso, the general on the pitch, clashes head-on with the surgical pragmatism of a board playing a game of chess, worth millions of euros. Meanwhile, a wounded hero fights against his own body to return. An Argentine jewel disembarks with an oath of loyalty that echoes like a hymn, and on the fields of England, the failure of a giant turns on a red alert on the Madrid radar. Madridistas, forget everything you think you know. What's happening now is a complex domino effect, where each falling piece reverberates throughout the club. Today, we'll delve into the inner workings of Real Madrid's power, connecting the dots of a strategy that will determine whether we will achieve glory or chaos. Stay until the end, because the pieces connect in ways you wouldn't imagine. Xabi's fury, a fullback essential to the coach's scheme, becomes a bargaining chip, and Alonso declares war behind the scenes to prevent what he considers a fatal error. The new blood, a recently arrived Argentine prodigy, not only wears the shirt, but embodies it with words that make the purest Madridism vibrate. The shadow of the Predator, an elite defender, is savaged by critics in England, and Real Madrid, like a patient predator, watches from the shadows, ready to pounce. If your blood is as white as this jersey, this is your refuge. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because what we're going to reveal today isn't just news. It's the map of our club's soul. While the ball rolls in friendlies and the headlines turn to market speculation, in the medical sanctuary of Valdebebas, a private war is being waged. Jude Bellingham, the indomitable engine of our midfield, is in a brutal battle not against an opponent, but against the limitations of his own body. After complex surgery on his left shoulder, the English star decided to break the veil of silence and share a raw glimpse of his ordeal. The images released are a punch in the gut. Far from the spotlights and the roars of the fans, we see Bellingham, with his jaw clenched, his expression one of controlled pain, performing rehabilitation exercises with pinpoint precision. The sling is gone, but freedom is still a distant mirage. Every movement is a victory, every repetition a step away from the abyss. He is the hero deconstructed to be rebuilt, stronger than before. But there's a symbolic, almost poetic detail that many haven't grasped. In the background, dominating the wall of the physiotherapy room, is the Real Madrid crest. It's not decoration, it's a manifesto. A silent reminder of the weight of the crown, of the sacrifice required to wear it. There, weakness is an unaffordable luxury. The sweat that flows isn't just for physical recovery, it's for regaining glory. Inside sources whisper that his personal obsession is to be on the pitch for El Clásico. An audacious, almost reckless goal that embodies the Madrid mentality. The club, however, is treading carefully. Xabi Alonso has already made the protocol clear. Jude is the soul of this team, and souls cannot be risked. He will return when he is ready for war, not just the battle. Bellingham's absence isn't just a technical loss, it's a leadership vacuum, a vacuum of intensity. He's the team's emotional barometer, and it's this uncertainty, this race against time, that lights the fuse of the season's first major internal crisis, transforming a squad issue into an ideological battleground. With Bellingham in the dockyard, logic dictates the need for a robust and deep squad. But at Real Madrid, financial logic sometimes speaks louder. The board has just put a for sale sign on Fran Garcia, with a price tag set at 30 million euros. For the executives, it's a market opportunity. For Xabi Alonso, it's a betrayal of the sporting project. Alvaro Carrera's rise is undeniable, but Alonso, a master strategist, knows that a season with La Liga, the Champions League, and a grueling Club World Cup cannot be won with just 11 players, according to the website Central Defense. The coach not only expressed his dissatisfaction, he roared in internal meetings, defending France's continued presence as a key player in the rotation and security. Losing a reliable player who has already bled for the jersey and been decisive in the Club World Cup for a financial gamble is, in the coach's view, an act of sabotage. The board, cold and calculating, sees the big picture. France's value is at its peak, and Premier League and Bundesliga clubs are already exploring the situation. The sale would finance other deals. Plan B, should the departure materialize, chills the most skeptical fans. Ferland Mendy, a player of undeniable talent but with a crystal body and chronic inconsistency, would be the only direct alternative. This isn't just a debate over a left back, it's a tug-of-war over the club's philosophy. On one side, Xabi, demanding the weapons to fight on all fronts. On the other, Florentino Perez, with the big-picture vision of a self-sustaining club that can't afford sentimentality. The locker room watches in silence, the fans are divided, and the tension is palpable. The decision over Fran Garcia will be the first major test of strength of the Alonso era, and its consequences could determine the balance of power at Valdebebas. But while the storm is brewing in the main team, a ray of Argentine sunshine is illuminating the future, reminding everyone of the incomparable seductive power of this badge. Amidst the tension and power struggles, the Bernabeu witnessed an act of pure and genuine passion. The presentation of Franco Mostantuono, just 17 years old, was more than a marketing event. It was a pledge of loyalty, with a maturity that belies his age. The River Plate star looked into the eyes of Madrid fans and uttered the words that serve as a balm for the fan souls. When Real Madrid showed up, I had no doubts. It was all over. The conversation was here in a modern football world dominated by agent auctions and empty promises. Mostantuono's words ring like heavenly music. He didn't choose a project, he embraced a destiny, a product of River's Youth Academy. His signing was a masterpiece of boardroom strategy, a silent, swift, and lethal negotiation that neutralized the interest of England's financial giants before they could even prepare their proposals, initially destined for Castilla. An express request from Xabi Alonso changed his course. The youngster will train daily with the first team. Alonso wants the rough diamond to be polished by playing with the world's best, accelerating his adaptation to the elite. What impressed most, however, was the boy's aura. The sparkle in his eyes as he kissed the crest, the firmness in his voice as he declared, "I'm here to make history, to pile up titles." He hasn't even touched the ball in a competitive match yet, but he's already won the club's most valuable asset, the fans' hearts. Mostantuono represents the certainty that, despite internal disputes, Real Madrid remains the Olympus of football, the ultimate dream of every young lover of the sport. And if he's proof that the club conquers the world, the following news is confirmation that he never forgets to tend to his own garden. Far from the spotlight of Mostantuono, another strategic move, perhaps even more significant, took place in the corridors of Valdebebas. Thiago Pitterk, the silent 18-year-old maestro, renewed his contract. This isn't just bureaucracy, it's a declaration of principles. This is Real Madrid protecting one of its most precious jewels. A midfielder who embodies the DNA of La Fabrica, Pitterk is the opposite of media stardom. He's tactical discipline, game vision, and a competitive intensity that burns beneath a calm surface. Xabi Alonso sees him not only as a player for the future, but also as a potential leader, a clock capable of setting the team's pace. The renewal was accelerated to ward off predators from Italy and the Netherlands, who offered minutes and money but couldn't offer the glory of wearing the white jersey. Pitterk chose glory. The rumors circulating strongly suggest that his inclusion in the first team isn't a possibility, but a certainty in the coming weeks. He's not arriving to add to the squad, but to challenge, to show that the youth team trained at home is hungry for prominence. Words attributed to Alonso during training sum it all up. This kid has more Madridismo in his blood than many veterans who have played here. Pitterk's retention, coupled with Mostantuono's arrival, paints a bright future for the midfield. It's the club's strategy in action, attract the world's best talent while simultaneously nurturing and protecting the treasures blossoming in its own backyard. But for these youngsters to flourish, the current defense needs to be a fortress. And that's why the meringue radar, attentive to everything, turns to an unexpected market opportunity. A Liverpool preseason game turned into an earthquake with its epicenter in Madrid. Ibrahima Konate, the French pillar of Liverpool's defense, had a disastrous performance and was publicly blamed by the merciless English press for his team's defeat. For the Reds, it was a headache. For Real Madrid, it was the sound of an opportunity knocking at the door. Konate's name has never been off Valdebebas' watch list. Young, with immense physical strength and experience in Premier League and Champions League battles, he has always been an asset of interest. Now, the situation is different. The breach of trust mentioned by newspapers such as Athletic may have made a €50 to €60 million defender a much more affordable target. Real Madrid is acting like a clever predator. With Nacho's departure and Alaba's contract approaching its end, the need for a top-level defender is urgent, not optional. The Militao-Rudiger duo is solid, but insufficient for the marathon ahead. The Madrid strategy is clear: take advantage of the turbulence at Anfield, the pressure on the player, and act with surgical precision. Sources assure that Kanet's name was the central topic of the last meeting of the football leadership. There's no proposal on the table yet, but the performance analysis machine is in full swing. For a cornered Kanet under heavy fire, the chance to reinvent himself under the sacred lights of the Santiago Bernabeu may be irresistible. Real Madrid doesn't act on impulse. It waits for its praised moment of weakness, and Kanet's stumble may have been exactly the sign the Madrid Fox was waiting for. And now, Madridistas, take a deep breath and connect the dots. What we saw today isn't isolated news, it's the anatomy of a club in turmoil. The hero fighting against time. Bellingham, the coach defending his soldiers and his philosophy. Alonso, Vice, the board. The young outsiders arriving to conquer Mostantuono, the base that quietly strengthens Pitterk. And the predator waiting for the right moment to pounce on the transfer market. Kanet. Closing parenthesis. Now it's your turn. I want to hear your opinion in the comments. Should Fran Garcia be sold? Could Mostantuono already have a chance in the first team? Would Kanet be the ideal reinforcement? This channel is our grandstand. Leave your like, share with the Madridista nation, and activate the bell, because here, the news is not just told. It is deciphered, it is felt, it is lived, and remember, the next chapter in this saga is already being written, because in Madrid, every crisis is just the prelude to new glory.